Have you ever felt confused? Like no matter what you do, she keeps pulling away? One moment she's warm, the next, she's distant. One day she desires you, the next, she rejects you. And the worst part, she never clearly tells you why. Welcome to Woman's Secret Signals, the place where you finally understand what women don't say, but always feel. Because here's the truth most men never realize. A woman's attraction doesn't just disappear, it changes based on how she feels about you, emotionally, mentally, and even subconsciously. In today's video, you're going to discover exactly why she's rejecting you sexually, and more importantly, what actually makes her want you again, without begging, without chasing, and without losing your self-respect. If you've ever felt frustrated, confused, or even rejected in your own relationship, this video might change the way you see everything, so pay close attention, because the signals she's giving you right now, you've probably been reading them all wrong. Let's start with a hard truth. When your woman keeps rejecting you sexually, it's rarely just about sex. Most men immediately assume one of three things: she's not attracted to me anymore, she's seeing someone else, or something is wrong with her. But in reality, female psychology works very differently. For most women, sexual desire is deeply connected to emotional state, mental stimulation, and how they feel in the relationship, not just physical attraction. A woman can love you, be loyal to you, and still not feel the urge to be intimate if something beneath the surface is off. Here's what many men miss. Women don't separate emotions and intimacy the way men often do. If she feels unappreciated, emotionally disconnected, stressed, unheard, or even subtly resentful, her body naturally shuts down sexual desire. And it's not a conscious decision. She's not sitting there thinking, I'm going to reject him tonight. Instead, her mind and body simply don't feel safe, relaxed, or turned on. Another critical factor: routine and predictability. If your relationship has fallen into a pattern where intimacy feels expected, pressured, or mechanical, her excitement fades. What once felt spontaneous now feels like an obligation, and obligation kills desire faster than anything. Also, consider this. Attraction for women often grows in moments outside the bedroom. The way you talk to her, lead conversations, handle stress, carry yourself, and even how independent and confident you are, all of this builds or destroys sexual tension over time. So when she says, not tonight, she's often responding to a buildup of emotional and psychological factors, not just that specific moment. Understanding this changes everything. Because instead of taking rejection personally or reacting with frustration, you start seeing it as feedback, signals that something in the emotional dynamic needs attention. And once you understand the real cause, you can start fixing it the right way. Now that you understand her rejection isn't random, let's talk about what actually pushes her away, often without you realizing it. The first mistake is taking it personally and reacting emotionally. When a man gets rejected and responds with frustration, silence, or passive-aggressive behavior, it creates pressure. She starts to feel guilty instead of attracted. And here's the truth: guilt does not create desire, it destroys it. The second mistake is making intimacy feel like a routine or obligation. If every touch leads to the same expectation, she starts associating your affection with pressure. Over time, even a simple hug or kiss can feel like the beginning of a demand. So what does she do? She pulls away early to avoid that situation altogether. The third mistake is losing your masculine edge. This doesn't mean being aggressive. It means losing confidence, direction, and individuality. When a man becomes overly dependent, always available, or stops growing in his own life, the attraction slowly fades. Women are naturally drawn to emotional strength, purpose, and a sense that you have your own world, not just orbiting around hers. Another major mistake: ignoring emotional connection outside the bedroom. Many men only become attentive when they want intimacy, but women notice this pattern instantly. If she feels like you only truly show up when you expect something in return, she disconnects emotionally, and that directly impacts her desire. Then there's lack of tension and excitement. Attraction needs a little unpredictability. If everything feels safe, repetitive, and predictable, the spark fades. You're no longer someone she feels curious about. You become someone she's used to. And finally, one of the most damaging mistakes, not listening to what she's actually expressing. Sometimes she gives subtle hints about stress, emotional needs, or things missing in the relationship. But if those signals are ignored, her desire doesn't just drop, it disappears. Here's the key takeaway: you can't convince a woman to feel desire, but you can absolutely kill it through certain behaviors. The good news: if behavior can destroy attraction, it can also rebuild it. Now, here's where things shift from confusion to control. If her desire has dropped, you don't fix it by asking for more intimacy. You fix it by rebuilding the emotional and psychological conditions that create desire in the first place. The first step is simple but powerful. Remove pressure completely. Stop initiating with expectation for a while. This might sound counterintuitive, but it works because it resets how she feels around you. When she no longer senses that every moment could lead to sex, her guard drops. She relaxes. And when a woman feels relaxed and safe, her natural attraction has space to come back. Next, focus on emotional reconnection without an agenda. Talk to her not to get something, but to understand her. Ask about her thoughts, her stress, what's been on her mind lately, and more importantly, actually listen. When a woman feels heard and understood, emotional walls start to come down. Then comes something most men underestimate: rebuilding your own identity. Step back into your own life. Focus on your goals, your work, your physical health, your passions. When you stop making her the center of your world and start leading your own life again, something changes. Your energy becomes more attractive, more grounded, more confident. Attraction grows when she sees that you're not needing her, you're choosing her. Another key element is bringing back playful tension. Flirting, teasing, light humor, these things matter more than serious conversations when it comes to attraction. Keep interactions light sometimes. Let her feel that spark again, not just stability. Also, start touching without intention. A simple touch on her hand, a hug, sitting close, without trying to escalate it. This rebuilds physical comfort and positive association with your presence. Over time, her body starts responding again, naturally. And finally, be patient but consistent. This isn't about one perfect night, it's about shifting the overall dynamic of your relationship. Desire doesn't return instantly, but it does return when the environment changes. So instead of chasing intimacy, you start becoming the man she naturally feels drawn to again. This is where most men lose everything they've built. You can be doing everything right, rebuilding attraction, reconnecting emotionally, but the moment she says, "not tonight," your reaction determines whether things improve or get worse. So let's get this clear. How you respond to rejection is more important than the rejection itself. The first rule: stay calm and unbothered. If you react with frustration, disappointment, or silence, she immediately feels pressure, and pressure reinforces her lack of desire. Instead, you want to show emotional control. A simple, relaxed response like, "no worries," or even a light smile changes the entire dynamic. Why? Because it removes tension. Now she doesn't feel like she has to manage your emotions, and that alone makes her feel more comfortable around you. The second rule: don't withdraw or punish her emotionally. Many men pull away, become cold or distant after rejection. This creates confusion and damages trust. She starts associating intimacy with emotional consequences, and that makes her even less likely to open up next time. Instead, stay the same. Keep your energy grounded, normal, and positive. Third, don't beg, convince, or negotiate attraction. Saying things like, "why not?" or "it's been so long," or "don't you find me attractive?" instantly kills any remaining spark. Attraction cannot grow under pressure, it only grows in freedom. The fourth rule is powerful: shift the moment instead of ending it. Just because she rejected intimacy doesn't mean the connection has to stop. Sit with her, joke a little, watch something together, keep things light. This tells her that your presence isn't conditional, and that builds emotional safety. And here's something subtle but important. Sometimes rejection isn't final, it's just timing. If the moment still feels relaxed and positive, she might come closer later. Not because you pushed, but because you didn't. Finally, remember this mindset. You're not a man who needs validation. You're a man who creates an environment where attraction grows. So when she says no, you don't take it as a loss. You take it as a moment to show confidence, emotional control, and maturity. And ironically, that's exactly what can make her desire you more over time. Now we come to the final shift, the one that changes everything. If you've followed everything so far, you already understand this. You don't ask for desire, you create it. So, how do you make her want you again? Naturally, without pressure, without begging? It starts with becoming emotionally self sufficient. When a man stops depending on a woman for validation, attention, or intimacy, his entire energy changes. You're no longer chasing, you're grounded. And that grounded presence is incredibly attractive because it signals confidence and strength. Next, focus on creating space, not distance in a cold way, but space that allows her to feel your absence a little. When you're always there, always available, always predictable, she has no reason to miss you. But when you're engaged in your own life, your own goals, your own routine, she starts to feel that gap. And that's where attraction quietly rebuilds. Then comes a powerful trigger, emotional contrast. Don't be the same version of yourself all the time. Sometimes be playful, sometimes be focused, sometimes be a little mysterious. This unpredictability creates curiosity, and curiosity fuels desire. Also, start leading the energy of the relationship again. Plan something different, change the routine. Take initiative, not just in intimacy, but in life. When a woman feels like she's with a man who has direction and purpose, she naturally leans into his energy. Another key factor? How you make her feel about herself. Genuine compliments, eye contact, subtle appreciation, these things matter. When she feels seen, valued, and desired as a woman, not just as a partner, her feminine energy responds. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Attraction often returns quietly. It's in the way she starts sitting closer again, touching you casually, laughing more, looking at you differently. You won't need to ask, you'll feel it, but all of this only works if you stay consistent. Not for a few days, but as a lifestyle. Because real attraction isn't created by tricks, it's built through who you become every day. So stop chasing the outcome. Focus on becoming the man she naturally desires. And when you do that, you won't have to wonder anymore because she won't be rejecting you, she'll be coming closer to you.